Have you ever seen someone get drunk but not consume a drop of alcohol? That's auto-brewery syndrome. I'm the Vice President and Patient Advocate for the nonprofit for auto-brewery syndrome information and research. My late husband had auto-brewery syndrome, or ABS. What happens with ABS is when a person eats simple carbohydrates and it turns to sugar, it ferments to ethanol in the blood, and you could register positive on a breath alcohol meter. Now, if you are out and about with someone who you suspect has auto-brewery syndrome, here are some things that you look out for. One, there has to be no consumption of alcohol, no access to alcohol. They have to be within your eyesight the entire time, and you can confirm that there was no consumption of alcohol. Some of the signs would be same as neurological signs: slurred speech, difficulty walking, possibly falling, feeling dizzy, having to lay down, go to sleep, waking up with no memory of what just occurred before, or you might find them passed out somewhere. It might be passed out in a room in your home or outside or in a car. And then later on, they may have unexplained seizures, or they might be sweating, shivering, very cold, clammy skin. These are all signs of having fermentation, being intoxicated, that alcohol rise happening. And then after the body metabolizes the alcohol, they're having alcohol withdrawal symptoms, very common with people with auto-brewery. Now, think about this. You're out at a restaurant with someone that might have auto-brewery, and the first thing restaurants typically do is they put a bread basket on the table. And then you order your meal. It's a protein like chicken, fish, beef, and then you usually get the meal with potato and vegetable or pasta. Person with auto-brewery that has that bread from the bread basket or eats those carbs, their body starts fermenting that carbohydrate right away. And the rise in alcohol can take anywhere from 30 minutes, sometimes up to 12 to 24 hours. If you are with someone that is exhibiting signs of being intoxicated and you know for sure that they didn't drink, think back of what that person ate in your presence without consuming alcohol. They may very well have auto-brewery syndrome. The best way to test is to go out and buy a breath alcohol meter, blow, make sure it's 0, have a high carb meal. When I say meal, it could be 1 slice of toast, or maybe fruit, right? A little piece of fruit, and blow hourly after and see if that breath alcohol meter has a rise. It shouldn't. And when I tell doctors and other people about this, they say, well, everybody makes a little bit of alcohol. They do. It's a very small amount. What you're looking for is an unreasonable amount of ethanol. Let me give you an example. When my husband found out he had this condition, he thought eating fruit was good. And most people do. But with auto-brewery, it's not. So my husband wanted to test out what fruit would do for his body. He had a half a peach. I said, before you eat that peach, blow into the breath alcohol meter. He did. It was 0. I said, okay, have your peach. And after he was done eating the peach, we stayed together. I needed to make sure that there was no consumption going on. I'm like, you can't leave my sight. And we sat on the couch, watching TV. And then about 30, 40 minutes went by, and I said, why don't you blow again? Let's see. And he says, well, I feel fine. I said, okay, just blow again. Let's see. He blew into the meter, and he registered at 0.26. It wasn't even an hour after eating that half a peach. Now you might say, well, you meant 0.02. No, 0.260, over 3 times the legal limit. And he felt okay. It wasn't until his body continued to ferment those sugars to alcohol, and it went even higher, because that was just the first number, it went much higher. That's when he started feeling the effects of the alcohol. And when it came down, boy, was he ill. So we learned rather quickly how fast those carbohydrates turn to alcohol. It doesn't do that for every single person who has ABS. It depends on what type of yeast and bacteria they may have. Different strains ferment at different speeds. But if you are with someone that has unexplained symptoms of being intoxicated, and you know they didn't drink, or they're having unexplained seizures, sweating, clammy skin, freezing cold, you need to look into it, especially if they've having some gut issues. Maybe they have IBS, they had surgery or an infection or a dental infection, and they just finished a course of antibiotics. Rule it in or rule it out. It's that simple. You can buy a breath alcohol meter now at your auto parts store. You can get it at your pharmacy. You can order it online and just do a quick test at home. You should be normal, 0, when you blow into that breath alcohol meter hourly after consuming carbs. If you don't, reach out to us, auto-brewery.org. We will help you. We will send information to your doctor, and we will get you the support that you need. Thanks.